Hello everyone. Today this is Mohideen Media and we are going to be looking at our second tutorial on Autocad interface and the tools. So we will focus on the tools today and we will draw some shapes to illustrate how these tools are used. So we move into Autocad straightforward, and just a reminder, this is our interface when you open your Autocad for the first time, and as we said the other time, if you just click here, this is a work, or maybe the shapes that we'll be using to do our illustration today. So first of all, let's do a recap on the things we learned the other time, where we said this side was our quick access toolbar and this side was our menu bar. Then this are our tabs: home, insert, annotate, view, manage, and this is our ribbon. The whole of this place with so many things is our ribbon, and each of the tab has its tools, especially when you click on the annotate tab. These are what will be displayed, the same as when you click on insert, but the home contains most of the tools we will be using. So I don't want to waste much time today. We will just go in straightforward to look at the usage of the tools in the draw panel, the modify panel, and then we'll be looking at the annotation panel, some other things we can use over there. So these are some tools, I mean some shapes that I just put up here for us to be guided, and then we will draw, or I'll take you through. Our main aim is to know how to use these tools here. But before we do that, I want us to look at the difference between a line and then a polyline. So giving you a brief explanation of what a line is and what a polyline is. A line will just create segments. So if I pick a line and then I click one, the last time we spoke about the auto mode. So when you place your auto mode on, you realize that you are restricted to only horizontal and vertical movement. So the first, where I clicked, was the end of the first segment of the line. If I click again, becomes the second end of the second line, and if I end up here, becomes 3 lines, and we've created something like a triangle. And you can see that each of the triangle has lines. I mean, each side of the triangle line is separate. Each of them, this side, that side, has a separate line. So this is just a difference between a line and a polyline. A polyline, let me pick it and illustrate it this same way. We will take, just sample this same thing, and now end here. These are 2 triangles. Let's just say 2 identical triangles. Now this one I use line to draw it. This one I use polyline to draw it. So when you click on the first line that I've used line, you see that this line segment is separate from this and from this. But when I click on the one that I've used polyline, you can see that the whole of the triangle has been highlighted. So if I want to delete, I will delete everything. But here I can delete only this section, this line segment, or I can delete here in that order. So this is just a difference. So you can convert a polyline to a line and can convert a line to a polyline. How do we do that? We can simply, this is a polyline. Now let's move to the modify panel. And like I said, the modify panel, these are the tools that will help you to do anything. So you click on this arrow box here, I mean the arrow down, and you identify this particular tool here, which we call join. When I click on the join, you see this, you can read the information there. If I click on it, sorry, we want to convert this line. We want to change the polyline into what do you call it? Into a line itself. So you highlight this line, then you move to this side. We have trim, this eraser button that we have here, the trim, and that's what we call explode. So with this explode, when I click on the explode, this line or this triangle, which was together as a block, has turned into lines that are of different segments, and I can delete each of them at a go. I can just delete this one separately from this, just as this. Now let's see how to convert this particular line, this particular triangle that I use a line to draw, into a polyline. I will now go to the arrow down here, and then I'll click on join. The shortcut key is J space or J enter. So when I click on it, this whole line, this whole triangle that was having separate lines has been joined together as a polyline. Now if you hover over it, if I go to its properties and we look at it, it will be seen as line type. Don't know whether I can see that here. Oh, no problem. If you just hover here, you see it has been seen as a polyline, whilst this one is seen as a line. But at first you could see what happened. If I want to make it a polyline again, I'll follow the same process. If I want to turn this one back to a line, I'll go to the explode, or you use X, XYZ, X, the X, you use the X as you've seen on the command line, and then you click space or enter, and then it is exploded. That is the shortcut for explode, and that is it. This is the difference between a line and then a polyline. So the rest of the things we have here, we have a circle. We have so many ways you can draw a circle. You can draw a circle by clicking on the center and then determining the radius, and then you can just click on the center and then determining the diameter of it. You can use 2 points to draw a circle, and you can use 3 points to draw a circle, in that order. So these shapes, we will be using some of them to do our drawing, or to modify, to model these shapes that you've seen here. Next to it is an arc. The arc has the same things as that of the circle. It has so many ways you can draw an arc. This way will help you to draw an arc. If you want to draw an arc, that is an arc, it will depend on the type of arc, the nature of the arc, and then you look at it and then use one of these tools or this method to draw the particular arc you want to draw. Then next to it, we can see that we have something here as rectangle and polygon here. So the rectangle, we all know, can be used to draw rectangles. And then the polyline, all the polylines you can think about, you just pick it and then you decide, you determine the polyline that you want to draw. So this is how it is, and we will be exploring them one after the other. The hatch here, let's just say we have a shape, you want to hatch it. I'll just click on it, then the hatch menu will come. Then maybe I will decide what to do. If I want to use a solid line, I'll use a solid line. It's not that important, and I can change the color. But for now, just want to illustrate. Let me change the color to something, maybe something light like this, and then I'll pick this angle then. Then I'll just come in here and click. Now, whilst it is still active, I'll come here and change the angle to maybe 30 and click enter. And this is what we have. This is exactly a hatching. You can use it to do patterns and other things. So then when you are done, you click on the close button here, and it is okay. If I click it again, it will come for me to edit, and that is it. So the next one will be this trim. Trim just means, simple means, you can trim and we can extend. When you draw a line and it is more than what you needed, you will trim it, and we will be trimming some lines. And we can extend lines too. The extension I will show you when we are into it. So the aim of this whole thing is for us to understand the usage of these tools, and that will enable or help us to be able to draw our our architectural drawings with ease, for us to model designs with ease. By knowing the tools and then the usage will enable or will help us to do everything with ease. So let's start with the line with the tools that we have here. The shape that we have here. We're going to start with this shape, this one, a circle with triangle inside. So we'll be having about using circle, triangle, circle, polygon, to draw this. So we will start with circle. The diameter of this circle, the bigger one, is 44, and then the other one is 22, the one that is inside. So, but that one is not necessary. The important thing is the bigger one. So first, you can click on, you can use C space or C enter as the as the shortcut for circle. So click C space, and now if I can go by click it this way, let me change the color to yellow. So I'm using stairs, meaning if I want to draw any stairs, if I want to draw if stairs layer is active, meaning anything that I'm drawing should take the color of stairs. So now I click on my circle, C space, then I want to use radius. The line is 44, so I will just click the center. That means we are using this first one, center and radius. So that is it. Or I can change it by picking center and diameter. But now let's leave it and go with center and radius. So I'll just click here and write the radius is 22, so 22. Then I'll click enter, and our circle is ready for us, as we have seen here. Then the next thing is we want to draw a triangle that will touch here, here, here. So we will go to the polygon, that's where there is a rectangle, and we'll pick a polygon. When I click on the polygon, then you look at the command line. We have polygon. Now enter number of polygons. So it is 3. Already it is 3, so I can press enter. Then specify center of polygon or edge. Meaning if I want to use the edge, I can just click here as my edge. But I want to use the center, so I'll click on the center. Then they're asking me to enter whether I want to inscribe or circumscribe. If we are inscribing, meaning the triangle will be inside the circle. If you are circumscribing, meaning the triangle will be outside the circle, meaning the circle will be inside the triangle. But in this case, the triangle has to be in the circle, so we'll pick inscribed. So you can click I, or I can click C. So I will click I, or just click on inscribed, and then I will now send it to the end, this edge, the center here, and that is it. Now we need to add additional circle, so I'll just C space, then I'll first specify center, so I'll click center. Then the next thing is, what do you want to do? Specify radius of the circle. Now the radius is just any end of the triangle, so I'll locate the center of the triangle here as my radius and click, and our shape is ready. So if we want to dimension it, now we'll come to the annotation, annotation panel. So under the annotation panel, you see dimensions, and we have diameter here, whatever. So I will click on the arrow here and select, you see, linear, align, angular, arc length, and those ones. So we want to dimension it based on the diameter. So we'll click diameter, and then I will just click on the circle that I want to dimension, and this is it. Then I'll click enter. If I want to dimension the right one, space again, then there's no need. But if you want, this is it. It is also 22. So now I don't want it. I will remove it and leave it like that, because already we just need this to draw it. But if you want, you can put it. Now I want to change the dimensions color. So I'll change it to dimension so that it will be different from the drawing or the shape. So maybe let me add the center one. This is the diameter over there, and that is it. So I'll click space, and it's okay now. I can change the position, and this is okay. So we are done with this first one. Now the second one is this one. Now we'll be using circle again. So I'll click on circle or C space. The diameter is 100, so the radius will be 50. So now we want to pick diameter. So I'll quickly click on circle and pick center and diameter. So I'll click here, and then what's the diameter? I'll click right 100. Or you see, specify radius of circle or diameter. Already I have chosen diameter, so they will ask for specify diameter. So my diameter is 100. Then I'll click enter, and the circle is ready. Now, how do we draw this particular shape here? The shape that we have here, how are we going to come up with it? Now, the first thing is we need to pick a line, L space, that is line, the line command. So specify first point, then I will click from the edge, the center of the circle, and this is what we have. So please pay attention here. Now I want to divide this circle into, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to divide this circle into 6 equal parts. So I'll highlight this line. Then we are coming to the modify tools, and under the modify tools you can see array. So I'm going to click on the arrow down here. Then I'll pick polar array. Then you can see evenly distribute objects copies in a circular pattern around a center point or axis of rotation. So I'll pick that one. Already I have selected it. If I had not highlighted the line, they will ask me to select, but already I have selected. So now specify center point. I'll click on the center of the circle, and now you can see that we've drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 of them. Then I'll click OK. Then the next thing we want to do is, if we look at how the thing is, it's like from this point to the other point here, the divisions that we have done, meaning from this line up to this line, this way. So I will pick my polyline. So my polyline, I'm going to click here, click the center here, then I'll click the last point here. And that is, sorry, I need to pick my polyline, click here. No, sorry, I'll go for an arc. So with this arc, we need to select 3 points. So from the first point, second point, and then my third point, and we have an arc here. So with this, I don't want to do anything. I don't need anything again. I will just delete the first division that I did, and we'll leave this like this here. So now let's go back to the polar array. Then I'll click on polar array again. Now I didn't highlight it, I just clicked on it. So they're asking me to select object. So I'll select this line. So one object found. So I'll click enter. Now they ask me to specify base point, I mean the center, and this is the center of the circle. So I'll click here and our shape is in. As easy as ABCD. This is the easiest way to do it. That doesn't mean that is the only way. I could have used different ways to do that manually, but you need to ensure that you learn what can save time. Aside that, I could equally just select this circle. I mean, let me make a copy, CO to copy. Then I'll click here and place it here. Now I'll pick my line LC and L space, and I'll draw something like this. I'll quickly go back and use the poly array, click my center, and this is done. Now the next thing is to pick my arc. Then I'll click here, click this way and that way. My first point is made, space again, click this one, and I'll click this one, then I'll come here. The second one is made. Now again, from here, from this one to this one, to this one, again from this point, from this point to the center, again my arc. So from this point to the center point to this point, then I'm going again from this point to the center point and to this point, then again from this point again to the center point to this point, then again from this same point to the center point to this point. And you can see that our shape is drawn. So let me remove that, and this is what we have. I think you can see that there are no differences, everything is the same, but you see it took a lot of time. So the best is to go the other way around.